Afternoon everybody, Pete from Sky.Sea.Pembrokeshire. Just wanted to make a video just introducing the ROV that I've got. I just realised the other day when I did my most recent video off the north coast of this county that I'd never really properly taken you guys through it, because I imagine most of you probably won't have seen anything like this because it's not that common. But anyway, so here we go. So this is the Fifish V6 Expert made by a company called QYC. I bought this probably second hand a couple of years ago now, albeit it was essentially brand new but hadn't been used, and I got a very good price for it. But brand new, they're very expensive. But great piece of kit. Got 6 thrusters, as you can see there, so it's very manoeuvrable. You basically have direction of movement in all directions. It's got 2 LED lights at the front with the 4K camera just there, and so you've got good visibility in the depths of the water. There are different packages you can get. This one came with a 200 metre reel, albeit this one isn't unfortunately 200 metres anymore. I had a problem with it not that long ago and had to have part of it cut away because there was a damage to some of the length of the cable. So it's probably about 150 metres now, but I do have another one which is still 200 metres. So this is the controller. I've got these extra little bits fitted just here to enable the use of this tablet. You can use it with a mobile phone, however this tablet is a much better, bigger screen, and also has a higher nits value for good visibility in bright conditions, and it's also quite rugged and also waterproof as well. So other features or other pieces of equipment you can get with it. This is the grabber. Basically this can be fitted underneath the drone, and it can be used to obviously retrieve items from the seabed. I think it's got a claw strength of about 10 kilograms or a force of 10 kilograms, so it is quite powerful and can pick up quite a good few decent sized objects. And then this thing next to it is the virtual reality goggles. Never actually used that, but apparently when you wear it, if you're to turn your head in any direction, the ROV will also turn in the direction you're having to be looking at, and then you just use the controller as normal to control the direction it's moving in. So in addition to the camera that's already fitted to the ROV, I've also fitted a GoPro camera on the top here, just on the carrying handle just there. Basically just used it to get some extra footage really. This particular camera housing looks quite well battered, but does a very good job of protecting the camera inside it, and it's also, I think, depth rated to 60 or 80 meters. So unfortunately a little bit less than the actual ROV itself, which is rated to a depth of 100 meters. But as I say, it does a very good job of capturing additional footage for minimal expense and minimal risk. So this is a little GoPro camera I use. It's the Hero 5 edition, and that's what goes in the housing at the top there. As I say, I actually got that second hand off eBay as well, so again does the job perfectly well with minimal risk. If it does go bust or gets lost, it's not the end of the world. I've also got this diving torch which I can mount onto that bracket there. Again, there's an additional thing that I bought just in case I end up going to depths where there is absolutely no light whatsoever, so the deeper sort of depths, greater than sort of like 20-30 meters onwards, and hopefully that will provide a good amount of light should I need it. So guys, just wanted to take you through the initial setup when I first used the drone each time. There's just a couple of things you need to do. First one is you have to set the heading essentially for the drone, the ROV, so that it knows which way is north, east, southwest actually. And essentially what that involves is just rotating the drone horizontally twice and then vertically twice. And then you also have to essentially tell it where what is level and what is upside down. So you have to sort of hold it horizontally for a couple of seconds, and then hold it vertically for a couple of seconds, and then it sort of basically knows which way is up, which way is down, etc. Which obviously, as you can imagine, is very handy. If you get that right, it makes the actual experience out on the water that much easier. And then last but not least, I've just got the actual app fired up. So essentially that's what I see when I'm looking at the display. So bottom right is the direction it's heading in, and then next to it just there is basically the orientation of it. There's a little green arrow which tells you which way is up and that kind of thing. And then there's just the usual displays. Top left is depth and temperature, and then there's various settings you can use on the top right to calibrate it and that sort of thing. Also, it's showing no SD card at the moment because I've not put it back in since I've washed it out. Incidentally, on that note, whenever I finish using it, particularly in the sea, it's always good to dunk it in a big tank of water. And then there's a maintenance cycle on it where the thrusters basically rotate for about 10 minutes individually, just clearing out any salt water and any debris that happens to be in the thrusters, and just rinses everything through. So always good to do that every time it's used. And as you've probably guessed, along with most other hobbies, you can spend an absolute fortune on extra goodies for these things. The actual ROV itself doesn't have a position finding system. However, you can essentially get one and bolt it on, but they are monumentally expensive, and we're talking the price of probably a cheap second-hand run-around car. They are ridiculous prices, but probably very effective. But actually, it's not the end of the world. You'll probably notice that during some of my videos, I occasionally pop up the ROV to the service just so I can know where it exactly is, and then I can either adjust my direction accordingly, or bring it back, whatever I want to choose. Yes, there's no actual way of determining exactly where it is in relation to you, albeit you can tell which direction it is and also what orientation it's at. There's a whole load of other things as well. There's various attachments, so along with the actual grabber, you can get various other bits and pieces you can bolt on as well. And there's also some very new models out of this particular type of ROV made by Fifish, and they look very, very capable indeed. That's not to say that this one isn't, but they are just a step above, and they are quite incredible. I'm sure they're good fun to use as well, but they are bloody expensive. Anyway, that's it on the tech side of things. So finally then, just in terms of maintenance of this thing, you can see I've covered the exterior in plastic tape, which helps protect it because it does get a little bit bashed around in the sea and in the waves. And in terms of other bits of maintenance I do, this is the SD card port. It unscrews, and this is the connection for the grabber, and then actually that's the connection point there for the tether. Basically all those 3 points, I basically put some grease on it, some plumber's grease, which helps keep it watertight. The last thing you want is obviously any water going into the actual ROV itself, because that would be catastrophic. Essentially, it would be redundant. It would be utterly useless. So anyway, that's just a quick overview of the equipment I've got. It does come with a huge great case as well, but I actually put it into a rucksack for moving around when I'm on the coast. Just makes things a little bit easier just to move around. Anyways, thank you very much for watching. Hope you found this interesting. And as I say, I've got some more content coming soon. And hopefully get the ROV out and about once the weather settles down again. Thanks for watching. See you again.